What's up, guys? It's your boy obbldude. Today, I want to talk a little bit about tree cutting and the resource gathering skill and how to do it, and how I recommend you do it from starting at level 1 all the way through the other levels, continuing on. It's going to be pretty much the same process. So, if you're just starting out, if you've never cut wood before, if you've never done resource gathering before, the first thing you're going to do is come over to the TT and you're going to pick up under tools the TerraTech PH1. Now, if you have done this before, you can also go to the TT and you can pick up the level 2 version. It's got a little bit of a markup, a little more ped count. But once you are past the learning period for the PH2, I highly recommend using the PH2. And I think you got to be like level 3 starts your learning period, and then level 6 ends the learning period. So me personally, I like to get to level 6, get out of that learning period. That way I can be more efficient when I use this right out the gate. But if you've never done this before, you're going to want to get the TerraTech PH1 out of the trade terminal. And since we got everything that we need, we're just going to head out. Now, there's a lot of places that you can cut trees at, and there's a lot of different places I like to go. Um, Around Port Atlantis, where all the puny mobs are, where that forest of trees are, that can be pretty good to start off with. Camp Icarus is another good one to start off with. Not so much the inside part where you would hunt just starting out, but like outside of the camp a little bit, can be good. But one of the better places I've found is here at Camp Corinth. So right about here, this is where we're gonna pretty much mine these palm looking tree thingies. We're gonna mine these out, we're gonna farm these out, we're gonna get the wood, we're gonna get some skills, and I'm gonna show you how that's gonna look. Alright guys, so once you leave Cape Corinth, what you're gonna do, if you've never done this before, if you're at level 1 or a lower level, you're gonna equip the TT Terratech that you just bought, or the Terratech that you plan on using. Once the Terratech is equipped, the trees that you'll be able to farm will be highlighted. So basically what you want to do is just look at all these trees and kind of just walk around, and you can see them from a good distance, but you do got to get a little close. So right there, we can see a small tree right there that we can farm. Now, if you're just using the TT Terratech, if you are at a low level and you're using the TT Terratech, even if you're at a high level, actually, if you're using the TT Terratech, only go for the small trees. If you're using the PH1, only go for the small trees. Why? Because if you look at the information here, it says max wood tier, small tree. And this is basically Mindark telling you you should not do anything more than a small tree. That's the max. Because it'll let you do a large tree or a huge tree with the TT Terratech. The only thing is, it's not efficient for those size of trees. Meaning, if you go for those size of trees with the TT one, like a large or a huge, you're not going to get as much back as you should have gotten if you were using the right equipment. Like for example, the level 2 here. We go to view, large tree. So for this guy, we can only do large trees if we want to stay efficient. Technically, we can do any tree we want, but if we want to stay efficient, we're going to have to stick with the large trees with the level 2. Now, there is also a level 3 that is both limited and unlimited, and I'm pretty sure the learning period is between level 6 resource gatherer and level 10 resource gatherer. And once you get to that level 3 one, then you can start mining out the huge trees. But if you're using just the TT Terratech PH1, you only want to mine the small trees if you don't want to lose your shirt and get skills all at the same time. Now, you can go for every tree that you want, but you're going to lose more ped in the long run. And if you're fine with that to get more skills essentially, then that's fine. But if you want to skill while still trying to be efficient so that you don't lose your shirt while you're skilling to try to maintain your gameplay, um, if you're using the TT Terratech, only do small trees. If you're using the level 2, only go for the large trees, and then switch to back to the TT one. So like if I find a small tree, I'll use the TT one. If I find a large tree, I will switch to the level 2 one. And if I find a huge tree, I usually don't even uh, mine that out until I can use the level 3 one. Now, theoretically, you could use a higher level um, Terratech on a lower level tree. But to me, that would be the equivalent of using an LR15 or an LR20 to fight, level 1, level 2 puny mobs at Camp Icarus. It'd be overkill and it's just not as efficient. So I kind of think of it the same way. I think we did a lot of gathering here the other day. So we literally don't have any trees. Either that or someone came here and farmed them all out. But I'm glad that I at least showed you kind of what it looks like at least when you have this equipped and you find a tree. This is pretty much it though. You just want to find a good amount of trees that you know you can harvest. And I like this area because there's a combination of small trees, large trees, and huge trees. So as you're leveling up your resource gathering and getting better equipment to harvest trees and to cut wood, you're going to have a little bit of everything here. You're going to have your small trees, your large trees, and your huge trees. That way you don't got to go to different areas for different sizes. Because some areas will only have the small trees. And some areas I've seen only have large. I haven't seen an area that only has huge, but I'm sure it's probably out there maybe. But I'm thinking someone probably came through here and probably harvested most of these just because this is a pretty well-known area for this. Um, and I was here for hours yesterday just cutting down trees. Like, I just kept finding them like crazy. So that might be another reason too. I might have, I don't know, overstayed my wood cutting, but I'd like to find at least one more tree before we kind of end this out. But don't let this video fool you. This is a great area. Like yesterday, I was cutting nonstop. Like every 5 minutes, I was at least cutting down one tree, at least. So I think someone probably just took all the trees on me here. But if you can keep coming back here, keep looking, I might try to come back here tonight now. Because we do got to keep skilling up our resource gathering skill. And there are other places you can go. I just wanted to come here because I know this is a good place to come. Um, but there are plenty of other places you can go. Like I mentioned, right around here in Port Atlantis, this greenish area, there's usually a lot of decent small trees right there. Where the curbs are at Boreas, that can be decent. Um, and I know there was a couple other random places where I randomly found them before, but like I said, I haven't done a whole bunch of wood cutting yet. But I need to start kind of looking for more places to cut wood because I need to get that resource gathering skill up bad. And this place is kind of popular, so a lot of times when you come here, they might be all harvested, kind of like this. Either that or I probably just got too much stuff here the other day. Um, but yeah, guys, when you're cutting wood, if you're using the TT and you want to be efficient, only do the small trees. Once you get to the level 2 machine, only do the large trees. Then when you get to the level 3, only do the huge trees. And ideally try to have each um, once you're at the level, you want to have, the level 1, the level 2, and the level 3. That way, if you see a huge, you can take out the level 3 and mine that more efficiently and get more skills. Then, you find a small tree, same thing. Now, again, this is mainly for skills. So if you wanted to get the most skills possible, you would just take the level 2, the level 3, whatever highest level Terratech you can use, and just use that on every tree you find, and you'll get the most skills that way out of it. Um, and that's what most people are going for with this. I know that's my main thing as well, but I do have a second reasoning as well, because if land plots ever become more popular And if we have the ability to build our own houses and things like that, and if the wood becomes more in demand, I would like to have some of that stacked up so that if something like that does happen, I can sell what I have and not have to go out and harvest it later. So that's the main reason why I try to focus on the most efficiency as I can when it comes to cutting wood as well. Plus, it's good practice. I mean, in Entropia, you want to try to be as efficient as possible. And whether it's hunting, mining, cutting wood, if you can find ways to be efficient in almost anything that you do in Entropia, you should be in pretty good shape, honestly. Now, this is really bad that I'm not finding anything. Um, but I think someone just got here before I did. I think that's really all it comes down to. So expect that if you come here. You might not find anything because it is kind of a popular place. If you come here and you don't find anything, just go somewhere else. There's plenty of places to find trees. This is just one of my more favorite spots because there's a lot to get here. Um, but as of right now, doesn't seem like there's anything. So we only cut down one tree, so there's really no point in tallying up what we spent and what we got because we didn't really get much of anything. But this was mainly just to kind of show you guys wood cutting and what how I do it personally, just to try to have the most efficiency. And also, I did a hunting video before this one talking more about resource gathering. So if you want to learn more about the resource gathering skill and kind of my theories and the way I look at resource gathering skill, um, take a look at the video in the note card up above, top right, or below the description. It should pop up as well. That was one of my hunting videos, and I kind of talk a little more about resource gathering there. So go check out that video if you haven't. Um, but yeah, guys, that's woodcutting. Drop a like on the video if you liked the video and got something out of it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.